Alright, part 3, project history and the demo. Now, through this portion, we're going to be looking at older versions of the code, or older versions of the actual working code and how what were some issues that I had faced while trying to figure out how to develop this game. So my version 1 was just trying to get some cards to display on a page. Didn't really worry about what's in the front, what's in the back, and I was just trying to figure out, okay, how can I make a set of cards and try to get it to show? And I tried a little bit of trying to figure out how am I going to get it to actually click, and I couldn't quite figure out just yet how that worked. So for version 1, that is here, um, we have a set of cards on the page. We weren't quite sure how many cards we wanted to have in the game yet, so we were still kind of figuring that out. We wanted to, um, yeah, yes, there's nothing that can really happen yet with the game, but we wanted to at least have a start to what could the card look like. Like I like the orange line down the middle. I thought that's kind of cool looking. Though we ended up going a little bit different route, which is all good. And the idea is, things change as time goes on. Um, and I thought that these cards looked like a regular card that you could actually see in a game of some sort. I thought it's kind of interesting. Um, all right, so version 2. Um, oops. Yeah. Version 2. Try a different layout of the cards, less cards per row. But I thought that wasn't just quite enough to keep a person interested in, you know, if you had 12 cards, I could, you know, I guess you could make versions like a small, medium, large, but for now we decided to stick with one set. Um, and alright, so going back and trying out version 2, which is here. So this is what I meant by um, less cards per row, but still keep the same size of things. We wanted to keep the full card look. Still 12 cards, three rows, but wasn't quite sure how this is going to work out quite yet. Then version 3, we finally figured out how to flip the card over, which I thought was pretty exciting for me when I got to this point, because that's actually right here. With version 3, Second had figured out how to start working with the background and how to, what he was thinking about for making that. Um, he did a really good job with that. Um, we were still, so I figured out that I couldn't click right on the image. That's one of my issues. I couldn't just click anywhere on the card to actually make it turn over. It wouldn't recognize that I was clicking on that card. It would only recognize when I was down here with the select card to actually flip over a card, and I wanted it to see the card actually turn over. I thought it was pretty interesting. As and I wanted to see how that would look, and actually it also flips back the same way. Um, but there's no the the next issue was trying to figure out how to get both cards to flip over at the same time, or you get two cards, you select your two, you're trying to see what both of them are, but right now we couldn't figure out how to get that second card to flip over, and that was one of the hardest parts of this. Um, version 4, but it was more focused on trying to get the cards to match. We do figure out how to get the second, Um, no, we don't figure out how to match them just quite yet. We were still working on that. The second card does not flip over like in the third version, so we have no idea what the second card was, which makes it the match game pretty hard when you're trying to figure out which card's which. We also realized that with this version that the cards were just too long that we couldn't get. You had to scroll down to see all of the cards, so we wanted to figure out a way to minimize the scrolling that had to be done to actually play the game. We want to keep everything within that main screen window. Um, so with our next version 4, kind of I was talking about here. Um, and we changed the color scheme, tried different color scheme with which I thought was I like that line. Thought that's kind of interesting. But we still had to scroll to get down to the bottom because you couldn't, because without clicking down here, you couldn't flip over the card and so forth. Um, the next version 5, we addressed the length of the card, and so we cut down the height of the card actually. And since they don't have to be technically rectangles, it could be any shape. But we still can get the card to flip over right. Here, there. So now we get the cards. We rearranged the layout. We moved the Master's Games logo to your top left. Silver menu near the top middle of the screen. We were looking at how can we work with the M's and how to make the card feel more, try to get everything together. And so with that being said, we click here, click there, still nothing. So version 5, we couldn't get that quite to figure out quite yet. But we do get there. With the version 7, everything looks the same because we didn't change anything at this point. We had some feedback that the background was a little too busy, but that'll be addressed in the version 8 with the current version of the site. But we finally get the match to work. I think that, yeah. So, but right now, as you notice, those cards did not flip over. So, because we were wondering how can we get the cards to actually match. So, now in the final version, we finally actually get it to match and play fully. And let's see here. Nope, that did not match. Nope. Hey. No. Bingo. You got a match. And that prompt that's popping up in this version addresses the issue that we figured out in version 3.4, which was the second card wouldn't flip over because there's nothing to allow the animation to go through. It was just like jumping right straight back to don't flip over. So let's see, can I find another match relatively quickly here? No. Let's see. No. Hey, there's a match. And I saw that one up here somewhere. Yep. And hey, getting there. Let's see. Another match? Nope. That's match there. Nope. Saw that down here. And voila. And I got 40 clicks for this round. And as in the part 2 where we were talking about, so yes, takes you to play another round. No, will take you back to the games section of the site. So we click yes, and we're able to restart the game. If I've clicked no, it would take me out of this and bring me back to this page, which is the game section of the site. We will stop here and we will continue with Connect 5 after this. Stay tuned.